Now I am here today to demonstrate and explain and teach you how to do organic composting. There are procedures, specific procedures that we follow in doing organic compost. So a reasonable area is an area where you can get some amount of shade, because you don't want it to, your compost to expose to too much sun that will dry it out too fast. If it rains heavily and you don't want water to wash through the compost or wash over the compost, because that will wash out most of your plant nutrients. So now our nitrogen material will make up of farmyard manure, right? Other vegetable matters. Anything from the farm can go into your compost. Anything that is biodegradable, meaning that it will break down over a period of time. Now after you select your material and you're going to start your compost, you want to have at least 12 inches of rough material on the bottom, uncut grass, small stems, because you want air to come up, pass through the compost. So you have rough material at the bottom. All right. Then we can put the greener material on top. This is our second layer of material. You pack it to about 6 inches. Now here's a hit. Yeah, some of the bush. Because we want about 6 inches on top. We are slowly making a sandwich. So now we want to put on our farmyard manure, and we're going to put on enough to make a next 6 inches on top there. It's going to break down and it will give off a lot of energy in the form of ammonia. So you want to put something on top now to trap all of that energy so it remains in your compost. And the best thing to use to do that is sawdust or soil. You try to move around. You don't step on the compost itself, because you will tend to ram the compost. So we don't want to compact it before it started to break down. At the end of that now, we need to apply some moisture, or we need to wet the bed so that enough moisture for the bacteria to multiply and break down the stuff that is already in the compost. Just enough, give us a proper wetting. Now that we end this layer, we are going to repeat the exercise over. But at this time, we're not going to use any rough material on top of the first layer. And we'll start with our carbon material again, which is our grass. Heavy. Spread it out so it don't look bumpy in one area. Throw on the manure now. Throw on the manure. Spread it out. You're aiming at a 4 feet height, which is the recommended height. You don't want to go higher than that because of the whole aeration problems. But you can make it any length, any width, once you can move around it. I will observe, and while you continue making this compost. Let it look tidy, so it look professionally at the end, And if you notice, we leave exposed areas at the edges, so to allow aeration. Organic certification requires that you do at least 5 turnings of your compost over the period of 90 days. Allow a more intermix with the materials, all materials. In the organic system, you will eventually have fresher compost, cleaner compost, and a richer compost because of the turnings that you carry on. We want to prevent it from drying out too fast, and a way of doing that is to put a covering over it. 15 days after you complete, then you want to make a turn. In a proper system, you won't find the temperature getting excess. When we are ready to turn, we must always have some rough material at the bottom to create aeration. When we turn, get the material that was on top to the bottom. What was at the bottom of the first pile will find itself on top of the second pile. It must be looking professionally done. Now that we have completed our turn, we're going to cover it, as we already water it already, so we're just going to cover it now. But remember, always lift the cover and water frequently. Basically, that's the principles and the methods. And as I say, you should feel free to use your compost any one of your fields and your flowers and your seedlings